to the Scamslam channel. I'm here to bring you content from both shady and some not so shady individuals on TikTok. Ever scrolled through your For You page and come across a sketchy scam or a questionable character? Well, you're not alone, and that's where I come in. On this channel, I'll be diving deep into the world of TikTok to expose scams, scammers, and problematic content to steer clear of. From beggars, scammers, fakers, liars, abusers, and awareness creators that you watch, I'll be here to share it all. I'll be doing it all through showing live streams and adding in comments where appropriate. Be sure to look out for those red flags. So if you want to stay informed on what's really going on in the world of TikTok, then hit that subscribe button and join me on this wild ride. Let's expose the truth together, and reminder, don't send money to anyone on TikTok.
Hey guys. Hello everybody. Hey guys. No, I've just been really sick. I went to the hospital the other day and my body's just been going through it for a long time now, but it just reached its height, the last 3 months, and feeling really doubtful because it's just like I'm really truly in need to get help with like permanent shelter And it's been really hard because my health has been not good at all. It hasn't been good at all. And it's stressing me out, and I'm trying not to stress out because I'm like, I barely get enough donations, and I'm grateful, but I barely get enough to be able to sustain for maybe 2 or 3 nights and then use the rest on food. But it's just kind of like I don't have enough yet because of the lack of open doors, because of chronic sickness and illness that I've dealt with this entire year and for years back. This year, my body has really almost gave up on me, you know? And it's hard to live and try to do everyday life when you don't have a certain place that you know you're gonna stay. And have I thought about coming back to Houston? Ali, I definitely have. But the problem is I don't have enough for like a place to stay. If I were to go over there, I'd be basically living maybe in hotels if I could afford it over there too. My dad, I tried living with him in February, and it was awful. It was very toxic and abusive. So I can't live with him anymore. And with my mom, you know, hey Susie, with my mom, we get along. We just started talking like 3 weeks ago again. However, she's going through her own health battles, and she lives with my stepdad, but they're like in the brink of divorce because they have a very like abusive, toxic relationship. So she's trying to save up money herself to leave, you know, and file for divorce. So I literally have nobody I could stay with. There was this one girl that reached out to me that I thought maybe I was going to be able to live with her. But she pulled back last minute because her husband wasn't okay with it or whatever. So I was really like sad about it because my first priority, guys, is my health. I left Houston and I left my abusive family because it was affecting everything in my body. But then it just got worse and worse, and God made a way for me to leave. So I thought that, you know, I was going to get stable. I thought I was going to be able to be like everybody else and just get my own place or get a room and stay there and work. You know, like I thought it was all going to work out, you know? And God kept leading me towards, hey Z, thank you so much for the likes. So I'm thinking that my life is going to like come together. And then I got into my first place 2 years ago, and it was covered in mold, you know? It was covered in mold, so then it made me sicker. So whatever illnesses and things that I have dealt with for years due to trauma and diet and everything and addictions, it got 10 times worse, you know? It got 10 times worse because of the continuous stress of not having my own place, the continuous stress of having a place, but it be covered in mold, you know? So ever since last year and this year, I've tried to stay with different people. I've tried to, you know, beg people to let me stay with them, random strangers. And that didn't work out, obviously. I've tried to work in hotels at the same time that I'm dealing with chronic illness, you know? At the same time that I'm feeling like garbage every day. And I don't talk about it because I don't want to believe it. I don't want it to be real, you know? And so I've just like not talked about all the physical things I've dealt with, you know? And then as a result of the trauma and different physical stuff, I've dealt with OCD, chronic anxiety, depression episodes, like a lot of mental things due to what I've been through and what I'm going through, and because of the lack of stability in diet. My prayer has been ever since last year to this year, God, I don't want to be in hotels anymore. I want to be able to be somewhere. I want to be able to be somewhere so I could just Yeah, Cap Lord, exactly. I want to be able to just focus on my health, focus on just healing. Like, I don't care if somebody were to open their door to me today, you know? I would need like 2 or 3 weeks to rest because there are so many things that I don't talk about on here that is going on with my body that, like, I just have to deal with. So it's really scary when I see my health like this whole year getting worse and worse and worse. And I'm literally, any donation that comes my way, I'm using it towards a hotel and basic food, processed food. And I'm grateful. And although, like, of course I eat it, it's actually been making me sicker because my body is in need of like healthy food and healthy things, you know what I mean? And I've been thinking about, like I said, my mom is under a lot of stress. My mom is under a lot of different things. And like I said, she's on the brink of divorce, trying to move out herself. And she's expressed to me all of her worries and stresses, so I don't even think that's an option for me to go back there. And times that I've tried to go back, it was horrible and abusive. I saw a lot of abuse between her and my stepdad. So I don't know if that would help me in any way, shape, or form. And she wouldn't be able to take me to work or be able to do any of that. And I wouldn't be able to walk anywhere because she lives like in the countryside of my hometown, kind of. So there's really not much to do there. So unless I have enough money for like a down payment to get a car, I'll live in my car. I don't care. I'll live in my car, or worst case scenario, like if I were to go back there, I could like get a job and do whatever, but like have my own vehicle. You know what I'm saying? And like if anything goes left, I'll just like leave. Yeah, brown eyed girl, exactly. Like, I need resources. I've tried calling 211. I've called all the shelters. I've called all the nonprofits. I've called like 30 different churches, like of the main biggest churches in the area. I've done everything you can think of, I've even like random people that I meet, I ask them, hey, is there any resources you know about? And I've been put on wait list after wait list after wait list. And like, this whole year it's been frustrating, but now at the end of the year, the fact that since the middle of October I've been sick 5 times. 5 times I've been sick. I'll have like a week and a half where I might do better, and then bam, I get sick again out of nowhere. But I know it's because my body has had enough. I'm staying in hotels, there's so much bacteria, there's so much going on. And then I have like my own little mini air purifier that I carry with me to try to help me to control with the mold and bacteria in these hotels. I do what I can. It's not easy to get a job when you are moving around because of different reasons, different things that you're exposed to, or dangers and stuff. It's not easy to keep a job when you're also unstable and you're unhealthy, Like, it's a lot. And lack transportation. So it's just kind of like, it's one thing after another. And I'm at the point where I've just gotten so desperate. I'm like, I don't know what to do. And my body is literally like crying for help. My body, like, I literally, with the donations that came in the other day, as far as like, there was this one specific brother in Christ. Shout out to him. Shout out to Joshua. This one specific brother in Christ, shout out to him. He's been the main one helping me, like, with my hotels when he can, with food when he can. He's been the main one. Thank you, brown eyed girl. Been the main one helping me, like, with my hotels when he can, with food when he can. He's been the main one. Thank you, brown eyed girl. I'm gonna look last like 2 months. Like TikTok, I am not getting help from TikTok anymore. It is a blessing. And I am grateful that I've even been able to have a roof over my head tonight and whatever, because of that brother in Christ that has been nice enough to help me. But I know that he's not forever. I know that at any given moment he could run out or something could happen to where he may not be able to help me. And TikTok isn't pushing out my content to be able to get paid. I'm not getting the engagement anymore. And like, on top of my body feeling bad, on top of me having to relocate sometimes, my donations are so unpredictable that after like 3 or 4 days, I have no money. So I may have to like pack up all my stuff and not know how I'm going to make it the next day. I've had to wait in lobbies for hours with no idea how I'm going to be able to extend or have a roof over my head. And I've been kicked out of lobbies like 3 times this year. And I was so scared because I thought I was going to have to sleep the rest of the night outside. Like, people don't understand, like, it's been one thing after another. And like I said, I've been so desperate that I went back to my abuse. People don't understand, like, it's been one thing after another. And like I said, I've been so desperate that I went back to my abusers, my dad, and I really gave it my honest try. And he did not care. Like, he was making me even more stressed out. So it's just a lot. It's a lot, you know? I'm in Tennessee, indigenous mama. Please reach out to me privately so I can give you more details. I can't really give all my details on live because I've had like dangerous things happen because of that. So just message me, please. But yeah, that's why I'm on here. Like, I haven't done a live in a while, but that's why I'm on here asking for help and why I make the posts that I do. There are people that aren't even like struggling health wise. They have a car. They have a way to do things, right? I don't. And so literally I am dependent on God coming through for me, whether it be a job, a place to stay, a donation, something, right? But like, I just haven't had a consistent place to be. In the last 3 weeks, I've been bedridden. Like, I've been completely bedridden for the last 3 weeks. And I just started feeling a little bit better yesterday. Day before yesterday, a little bit. Like, like I said, I went to the hospital. Like, my health and the stress of my situation has been affecting me in every area. And I've been crying, I've been begging. I'm like, God, I've done all the fasting, I've done everything. Like, why haven't you came through for me? Why haven't you opened a door for me to be able to like do things, you know? I thought about remote work as well. I've tried remote working before twice, earlier this year and like late last year. And because I've had to move around due to, you know, I thought about remote work as well. I've tried remote working before twice, earlier this year and like late last year. And because I've had to move around with people online and with people in person. And so that's why I've had to relocate sometimes. Or if I have enough money or donations for like 2 or 3 days, I may not know how I'm going to be able to extend. And I'm in those lobbies or these lobbies in the hotel for a long time. And then by the time I get a donation and I go up to the receptionist and be like, hey, I would like to extend, they're like, oh, we're sold out. Or, oh, it's going to be more money. Or, oh, the prices range. So then I have to look somewhere cheaper. So I'm constantly moving around. Or there's been times where I've been in hotels where people have literally robbed me of my money. They have literally overcharged me things that I have not, like, you know, purchased or anything on purpose. I've gotten into it with managers. I've gotten into it with people that have tried to take advantage of me. And it's so like messed up because you would think like, okay, they see someone who's struggling, see someone who's by herself. People don't care. People do not care. So I've had to run into so many issues, like being in hotels. And I didn't think it was going to be like this. I thought, you know, I'm going to stay somewhere for a while and be able to work and that's it. You know, I try to be open-minded about my journey, but no, you guys, like this whole year has been so hard. Last year was horrible as well, but this year was by far the hardest for me. because my health has gotten in the way of so many things now. On top of not having opportunity and stability yet, but my health. Like, literally, I just had a free consultation with like an organization, and they're willing to help me as long as I come up with some resource, you know? And I'm trying to like, I've tried to apply for insurance and I got approved for medical insurance, thank God, but it won't be active until February, you know? And my food stamps have lowered down so much because of all these regulations and all these different things. And so I'm literally between a rock and a hard place. Like, I either need somebody that I could stay with, that I could like rest for like a week or two and then look into jobs and just like not have the stress of like living day to day and stuff and like actually get to start my life, or I need money. And because of how I have felt, because of like everything, I haven't been able to think of how I can make money. That's why I've resorted to asking online for help. Like I said, I literally just started to feel a little bit better yesterday. So my body is going through it. And I thought about making a GoFundMe again, you know? I made one last year, I think, and I barely had any donations. And so it's just been a lot. It's been a lot, and I don't know. Everyone's going through it. There's a lot of people that are homeless. There's a lot of people that are borderline homeless. Like I said, even though I have shelter right now, in 2 or 3 days, I might have to sleep outside, you know? I've had to do, I don't know, I've just done everything in my power to try to look for a place to stay so I don't have to keep using donations that come in for a hotel and food. But I've tried to call and contact so many people. I thought there was people that were going to open their doors for me, but then at the last minute they took it back or something happened. So I've just had to spend all my money on hotels. And like I said, it's not like I'm able to book for like a week or 2 weeks or a month and be like, oh, okay, thank God, you know, my hotel's paid for a month. No, like, I don't know. It's just been one thing after another, guys. And I've just been so stressed lately because it's like my health has really worried me. And you can get all the supplements you want, you can do all the things, but if you're not eating properly, if you're not able to cook and be in somewhere peaceful and safe and consistent, it's going to affect you in your body, you know? And I've dealt with chronic stress and I've developed a lot of chronic illness and immune things because of the trauma and stress in my life. So I try to keep the stress to a minimum, but it's really, really hard lately. And I've been so upset at God. I've been so upset at life because I'm like, why have I literally tried to reach out to every resource and everything possible, and nothing has opened up for me to get out of hotels, to get out of my situation? And I know people keep trying to motivate me like, oh, God is going to come through. I'm like, well, I've been waiting for God for the last 2 years, you know? And I even went back to environments that no longer serve me out of desperation, and it went horrible, you know? So I'm out of options. And I know, like, I'm just venting and I'm sharing my story because maybe somebody else is going through it. But just know that if you've been going through a lot of sickness, a lot of hopelessness, waiting for God still to come through for a door, I'm right there with you. I mean, I need a door to open for me, financially or opportunity wise, because I don't know. I don't know. I'm genuinely worried for my health. I'm genuinely worried for my mental health. It's been a long time that it's been like this, and I don't know, guys. So that's why I'm like, I hate coming on here anymore. I really try not to come on lives anymore. I try not to make videos like that. I try not to anymore because people either can't believe that I'm still in this situation, that saw me talk about my homelessness late last year. A lot of people still can't believe it. Shit, I can't believe it. I can't believe it. You know, if people can't believe it, I can't believe it. I thought surely something would have came up by now. I thought surely I was going to have an opportunity by now, and I haven't, you know? And my body has given up on me this whole year. So it's like, I understand people not understanding, and I know a lot of people wonder. I'm in the same boat. I'm in the exact same boat, guys. I don't know. I really don't know. So, like, I'm desperately coming on here, not to vent that as well, but like to encourage, but to also ask for help. If you can donate in any way, shape, or form. Look, guys, I don't know what I'm going to do at this point. Like I said, if I had enough for a down payment on a car, I would sleep in that car. Like I said, I would get a gym membership or go to a community resource to be able to take a shower every day or do something, you know, work in my car. That way I don't have to worry about like every day not knowing what's going to happen, you know. I could even potentially move back with my mom, potentially. And that's not a guarantee at all, but at least I would have a vehicle to be able to like move around and not be trapped in the house. And like I said, my stepdad, he's very abusive, very toxic, and he's just not a person I want to be around. But if I had to, I would, you know. But at least me knowing I have a way to move around where I'm not like trapped in the house with him all day every day, because there's been some stuff that happened with that too, where I'm not all the way comfortable being alone in the house with my stepdad. So yeah, I mean, a car would really help, you know. I just don't know. Yeah, Daisy, I don't know if you've watched my other lives or like my other videos. But yeah, I've seeked all that I could. Like I don't know what else to do. Like I've asked random strangers for me to live with them. I've asked, you know, people that I wouldn't even think of if I can stay with them. And they've either said no or not right now or something. So like it's been a lot. It's been a lot, you know? One for justice. It depends on the question, but sure. It depends on the question, but yeah, if you want to ask me something, you can. Oxyprints, yeah, unfortunately, yeah. Unfortunately, yeah. I've tried to see where I could stay or see who I can stay with, and I haven't had success in that. The shelters in this city, they're all filled or I don't meet the requirements. Yeah, like I said, I'm homeless in the way that, like, I live off donations every couple of days. So I use whatever donations to keep a roof over my head with, like, a cheap hotel and, like, some random stuff like crackers, whatever it is. But that's how I maintain myself. But it's not guaranteed because I haven't had enough to be like, okay, I have enough donations to pay for a full month at a hotel so I could rest and then look for work, right? Nothing like that. Like, I might have enough donations to last me for a few days, and then after those few days are up, I have no idea what I'm gonna do. And so I have, like, to prepare myself every couple of days, like, to potentially sleep outside. Because if the donations don't come in, I have nowhere to go. No shelters have, why haven't you seeked out government assistance? I've definitely have. I have been rejected from unemployment. I've been rejected from insurance. I just got approved supposedly, and I have to look into the policy because I didn't really look into it that much. I got just approved for medical insurance, but through Marketplace, but that's not going to be active till February. So, and I still have to look at the policy still. Food stamps, yeah, I've looked into that, and I technically have it, but I only have a small amount, and it runs out quickly, especially because a lot of the times I haven't been able to have money to consistently stay at a hotel with a kitchen. So I'm constantly buying like processed food, and obviously that's not the healthiest and it's more expensive. So then also they're now having requirements on food stamps where you have to now work part-time in order to maintain it, and they're coming up with all of these like regulations now starting this upcoming year and this month. So I don't know for how long I'm going to be able to have it, to be honest with you. So it's just one thing after another, you know. I'm in the state of Tennessee. Like I said, the jobs is not an issue. You know, I can get a job, but if I don't know consistently where I'm going to stay, I stress out every couple of days thinking that I might have to sleep outside. And I've had to literally many times be out in lobbies for hours not knowing what's going to happen. People don't understand, like, the job isn't the issue, it's the stability that's the issue. That way I can focus on getting any job that I want without having to worry that every couple of days I might have to sleep outside, you know? No, I do not have a car, Athena. I'm praying that with donations or a GoFundMe that I'm gonna set up soon, uh, hopefully, hopefully I'm able to do that. Hopefully I'm able to get some kind of help. I don't know. No, I do not have any pets. No, ma'am. It's just been a headache, guys, and it's just like I've tried to just endure and deal with it, but then the fact that my health has gotten so much worse, it stressed me out. It's been worrying me because I'm like, God, I literally have been doing everything that I can to get out of this situation and like asking for help, you know? My family's all in Texas. They're very narcissistic and abusive. That's the whole reason why I'm in this situation. Uh, I've tried to donate plasma before. I forgot what happened. It's been a while, but I tried to before. Yep, I've been there. That was last year for me too. I was couch hopping. I was like hitting up random people on Facebook that had a room, like, please, can I stay with you? Like, yeah, 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 Justice. That's a blessing, you know? Like, and that's my thing. It's like, I don't understand why, you know, God freed me from a really toxic home and toxic family that were just being very mentally and spiritually abusive, you know, and emotionally, you know, and it was affecting my health. But now I'm just like, okay, how come a lot of people they get out of that situation and then they get blessed, you know? But for me, it hasn't been that. It hasn't been that. And I don't know why. Like, and every time I thought that I finally reached a place where I can be stable, some crazy stuff happened, you know? And I'm like, what is going on? Like I said, the last home that I had, like, it was in 2023, it was covered in mold. It was affecting my health badly. I had to move out. I did not, like, my body was shutting down. And so now I'm just like, oh my God, I thought then, oh, finally, I have my own place, but no, you know? Jackie, I qualify for assistance. Exactly, as long as I work 80 hours a month, but I haven't been able to consistently be somewhere where I can go walk and search for a job or be consistently like have a hotel paid for like a month or two or something. So that way I could, you know, look for a job and not have to worry about possibly having to move around, you know. I haven't had that opportunity to work, and also because of my health. My health has been horrible. And I don't talk about it that much on here because I don't want to talk about it, but recently I just been like, you know what, whatever. So, and that's good, Justice. Good for you. I'm grateful that that happened for you. That's amazing. Because that's what happens. Sometimes you just need to be somewhere at the right time. In the beginning of my journey, even though I wasn't stable per se, but in the beginning of my journey, like, I was helping out a lot of people, you know? And I used to be very inspirational, but life has been getting harder and harder and harder. Jackie, I don't know if you saw my other comments, but housing is the issue. It's not the job. Housing is the issue. Housing is my main issue. To be able to be somewhere consistently for me to then look for a job, or to be able to stay with somebody, you know? Coffee and crochet. Yep, I'm trying to help myself, sister. I'm trying to help myself, but there are some things in your life that you can't control, so sometimes you have to put your pride aside and ask for help. You know, I've been asking for help off and on this entire year, and late last year, but I thought things were going to happen. You know, I thought that I was going to be approved already. I thought, I thought opportunity was going to be here already, but no. And I'm just as confused as anybody else, you know? Justice. Yeah, I know the story of Job. I definitely think about that sometimes, but it's been so long that I've been in this situation that I'm like, this is enough. Like, why haven't I, like, it's so annoying. Like, that's why when people are like, oh, like, how are you still homeless? Like, they get annoyed or something. I'm like, imagine how I feel. Imagine how I feel. I don't want to be in this predicament. If I had somewhere to stay, I would stay there. I wouldn't be on here asking for help if I had somewhere to stay and somewhere safe. And I was able to rest and then look for work. Like, I wouldn't even be doing this. Or if I had a car, I wouldn't even be doing this, you know? But I just haven't had that, you know? No, I'm not from Cali. I've tried calling 211 several times. They lead me to the same resources that I've called. Justice, I've done that. I've gone to plenty of churches. I have worshipped and prayed. I have fasted. I have done the whole 9 yards. I think a lot of the times people think that, it's just the enemy, or it's just like bad luck or whatever, or it's an attack. Some things can be that, like, whatever, but then there's certain times in life where it's not that. It's either God's just not opening a door because of something. I just don't know what that something is, because Lord knows I am open, I am willing, I am ready. I want my life to change, but if I haven't had stability or an open door for me to stay somewhere, that's out of my control. And that's why I come on here and ask for help, because I don't know where else to ask help from. Like, churches aren't helping me. 211 isn't helping me. Alicia, I've done everything to help myself. Thank you, the illest. Thank you. Thank you for saying that. I really appreciate that. Because I feel like as much as I explain myself and I'm sounding like frustrated because I actively don't feel good in my body. Like, in my body, I'm trying my best right now to come on here and be strong. But I don't feel good in my body right now. And I'm doing what I can. And the only thing I have is social media. To either ask for help, to either be able to get enough money to afford a hotel for like a whole month so I could rest and look for work, or enough money to get like a down payment for a vehicle, so at the latest I could sleep in my vehicle and make money in my vehicle. That's what I'm asking help for, because like I said, I received donations here and there, to help me with maybe like 2 nights, maybe 3 nights, but I can't get a job and help myself and heal if I don't have somewhere to stay longer than that, So that's kind of what I'm looking for, is either help financially towards a car or towards a hotel for a whole month, or someone that'll let me stay with them. You know, I'm open to any of that as long as, things work out and we talk about it, Let's see, hold on. Julie, thank you so much. Thank you so much. Like I said, anything that people send my way goes literally towards my hotel. It goes literally towards my food. And now, because I just went to the hospital the other day, now I have to look for a primary care doctor. Now I have to look into medicine. Now, it's just more stress. And I know that another reason why I'm like sick is because of the stress, is because of not being able to find, or God not opening a door for me, And so it's like I literally cried a while ago. I just can't cry anymore. It's frustrating. And I'm not the only one going through this. I'm not coming on here acting like I'm the only one. There are a lot of people going through what I'm going through. And my heart literally melts for those people. My heart goes out to these people. Because I've told the Lord many times, I just want to be healthy. Thank you, the illest. I just want to be healthy. That's all I want. If my body is healthy, then automatically my mind is healthy. And that helps me work more, do more, encourage more. But if my body is not healthy, that affects everything in my life. And the fact that this year alone, my body has gotten worse and worse, it's been more stressful on me, And it's just been a lot. I'm living in some random hotel right now. But like I said, I had enough for today and for potential food that I need. But I've been feeling so sick. I have been fasting most days the last 3 weeks because I've been so sick. And I've just been bedridden. It's just been a lot. Lynn, there probably is a different county. There probably is places that could help me. But unless I know for a fact that they are going to help me, I'm willing to go to another city. I'm willing to go to a different place if I know for a fact that they are going to help me with a shelter, like a place for me to stay and a place for me to whatever. If I know for a fact that they're going to help me, I'll pray about it and then go for it, But so far, God has had me in this city. I felt led to come here. And as many trials and troubles that I've had here, I've learned a lot about myself. I've learned a lot about my journey. I have encouraged and prayed for many people in this city. So I don't know what God's going to do in my life. For years, I thought, oh, for sure. I feel like God gave me a prophetic vision and dreams. My life's going to go like this. Or I think God is leading me to do this. It hasn't been that. It hasn't been that. So my faith has wavered too, in God, because I'm like, I thought that things were going to go a certain way and then they haven't. So now I'm like, well, now what? So, and I haven't gotten any revelation. I've prayed, I've fasted. I haven't gotten any clarity on what else to do. So I'm just trying my best to put things into my own hands. And even if I hate it, even if I hate asking for help from people anymore, this is all I got. Because I'm going through so much in my body, and I've already tried community resources. I've tried every resource possible recommended in the city. I've tried everything, you guys. So this is the only option I have as of now until something happens for me, honestly. I've tried shelters already here, Elijah. Anthony, I have my Cash App like in my bio, my PayPal, Venmo. If you click on my bio, what's it called? I have all the ways of helping through there. I just really want a miracle to happen, you guys. I don't know what to do. When I first left my home back in 2021, I thought life was going to be perfect after that. Or I thought, life isn't perfect, but I thought I was going to have a place to stay. I was going to be able to work. And all this shit just started getting worse and worse. People started acting weird. People started to just put me in dangerous situations. And then this one lady I was staying with for like 2-3 months, I was trying to get a job and do what I can. Then she said I had to move out because she was moving. It was just like constant, you guys. Constant. And it's so frustrating because I asked God, I'm like, God, why is my life like this? And I know I'm not the only one. I've spoken to a lot of people privately that are also in the same stress as me. They're like, Karla, I have tried everything and my life has been hell for the last 3 years. I'm like, you telling me because my life has been such hell. And I'm not going to say that it's been completely hell. I'm not going to sit here and lie and say that. I've had beautiful moments. I have healed a lot of myself. I have gotten better in some ways. But the lack of instability this year has now made my life difficult on my body. And it has made my health a lot worse. So now I'm in a desperate situation. Like, okay, God isn't answering my prayers. I've tried connecting with churches and different resources all over again. It's the same thing. So I'm in a desperate situation. I'm like, I don't have any family that I can go with. So I'm like, I have nothing else but my community online. That's all I have. And so I'm like, okay, until I can find somewhere to stay and be stable, whether it be a hotel still for like a whole month, or like I said, enough for me to, have donations to get a down payment for a car. Unless I have that, I don't know how I'm going to be able to get stable. Or unless I know guaranteed I can go to a certain city or state and they will guaranteed help me, then I'll figure out a way to come on here and ask for help for a plane ticket to go there. But if I don't know that it's going to help me, I'm not going to take that risk and go to a random city just because. And then I'm actually worse than I am right now, So it's just been a lot. No, I have no family, Julie, Elisha. Hotel for a whole month, I wouldn't even know. I haven't even looked into it, but I can tell you, for a hotel that is, the extended stays in Wood Springs are usually the hotel brands that people stay at in places, right? I've stayed in those before in this city. They're either really run down and not good, like just dangerous and like really sketchy people. I'll say that. Or they've had really bad reviews with like roaches and people stealing money. And it's just a bad area, period. So I would need a place with a kitchen, but I haven't investigated what like the cheapest option for that would be. But I know most hotels, it's at least $2,000 or $3,000 a month, just to be there with the hotel with the kitchen, at least. Wood Springs and like extended stays, like I said, I've tried before, but it didn't work out. It's around like $400 a week or so, even for those. So if you do 400 times 4, that's like $1,200, $1,500 at the cheapest. Places like that, but I've stayed in them before. So there's a brand of hotels called My Place. Candlewood Suites are good. Staybridge, those are like the lowest cost ones. There's a brand called I think Liveway or something. I don't know what their rates would be. I've never stayed there, but it has a kitchen, and like the nightly rates look pretty cheap. I just never stayed there. I just found out about it like 2 or 3 weeks ago. But like I said, I've been bedridden for like 3 weeks, so I haven't even been able to leave, you know? It's a miracle that one brother has helped me, you know, more consistently to like, and he can only help me every few days or when he can. So it's like, I'm literally living off of faith. Like, I haven't had enough money all at once to be able to pay for something, you know? Like, I haven't had that. So that's the problem. And some people tell me, like, yeah, I'm gonna make a GoFundMe the illest. I really am. But even with GoFundMe, they take a percentage away, and you don't get the funds immediately. You get them after maybe like a week and a half, depending on the amount. So that's why I haven't had it yet. And I literally just started feeling better like a day or two ago. I've been going through hell for 3 weeks. So yeah, I need to make a GoFundMe for sure. I definitely do. But like I said, even then the money wouldn't be immediate and they would take a percentage away. But things like PayPal, Cash App, all those things, I can get it instantly. And you don't have to have a fee. Like, they don't charge a fee as long as you like wait a couple days for it to transfer. But usually Cash App and PayPal things transfer within like a day or two, versus GoFundMe, it can be over a week, you know, and they charge. So yeah, I don't qualify for unemployment. I've tried that. Disability, same thing. Illis, thank you so much. Like I said, I'm gonna try to do a GoFundMe, but like I just haven't, like, I literally, when I tell y'all, I've been so dizzy, I've been bloated, I've had fevers off and on, I've had swelling in my head, migraine, swelling all over my body, I've had flu, I've had congestion, I've been throwing up, I have been going through hell. I've had chronic fatigue and joint pain. Like, it's been horrible these last 3 weeks, but I've had all of those symptoms off and on this entire year. I've had horrible brain fog, like everything you can think of. Like, when I say, it takes a lot for me to say, I can't do anything right now. Like, my health is a priority. For me to come on here and say that means that my body is literally breaking down and I don't know what to do about it. And that alone has been stressing me out. And I'm like trying to calm down, but I'm like, I have no one to help me. I don't have any family I can stay with. All the resources have rejected me, or I don't meet the requirements. So I inevitably get stressed out, and it makes my symptoms worse. And it's a lot. It's a lot. It's a lot. Yeah, Michelle, my heart goes out to you. Michelle, I pray for you. I pray for you a lot. My heart goes out to you, Michelle. You're not alone. See, and I've talked to some people that are going through the same thing as me. So I'm not alone in this. A lot of people are waiting on God, or waiting for an opportunity to come to help them, because we're going through so much. And I don't understand why for some people it's easier. I don't understand why for some people they go through a little bit of suffering and challenges, but bam, they get an opportunity. I get upset about that all the time, because I don't understand why it's like that for some people. But there's nothing I can do. These are just the cards that I was dealt with in life. So all I can do is try to ask for help in person, do all the things that I mentioned, and just wait for somebody to be willing to help. But because that hasn't happened for me yet, I'm like, okay, what else can I do? I was like, all right, well, I have a platform. Okay, I have a community. Why not reach out for help online? You know? And I've done that off and on for a whole year now. And I thought there was so many moments that I was going to be able to be stable. And it didn't happen. So I've reached out to more resources. I reached out and done more things. That has shut down. So that's why I've continued to come on here off and on, because I don't know what else to do. You know, if you were in my position, you had no other option, no other thing, you'd probably do the same thing, you know? My eye is twitching because of the stress. My eye is twitching. Like, yeah. I need help with, like, towards, like, money towards a car. You see my eye? Money towards getting a car so I can live in it and start working and potentially be able to go back with my mom, maybe, or just to live out of my car or something, or enough for me to have for like a whole month from my hotel so I could rest up, not have to worry about it, and get a job or try to look for a job. Just stability of some kind, you know? I don't know what else to do or say with that. You know? Charlotte, it's been a lot of autoimmune diseases. It's been chronic inflammation. It's been mold toxicity and exposure. It's been cellular damage. It's been brain stuff. I mean, the list can go on, the things that I've had to deal with in my body. Histamine overload, gut issues and imbalances, hormone imbalances, everything. Like, there's so many things that are wrong in my body. And as much as I pray for healing, speak healing, and fast, God can heal you. Absolutely, He can heal you. But 97% of the time, or 97% of that, has to be our own efforts. You know what I mean? But if I'm unstable and unable to cook consistently and eat consistently healthy, that's making whatever is wrong with me worse. You know? Michelle, I feel you. Michelle, I feel you. It's been the hardest year of my life as well. Did I spend Christmas alone? Absolutely. Absolutely. Every birthday, every holiday, the last 4 years, I've spent it alone. I am not in California. I don't know why people think I'm in California so much. No, I am not in California. Exactly. That's what I said too. Exactly. Like, I don't like the idea of having to like, want to spend, or, you know, asking for help to spend on a hotel, because it's more expensive to do that than get an apartment. But the problem is with apartments, unless you have check stubs, they won't allow you to stay there unless you have a co-signer that's willing to like sign off in case you can't pay your rent. Then that person is legally responsible for paying your rent and your utilities and stuff, or you have really good credit, or all three of them. So if it was up to me, I would have my own apartment. But the problem is, because I don't have check stubs and they don't like accept bank statements and stuff, I haven't been able to do that, you know? I haven't been able to do that. Apartments are not, I've already tried it. I've been to like 2 different cities, and I've tried to apply at like 20, 30 different apartments and call around, and they all hit me with the same thing, you know? Or they take Section 8 vouchers, but I still haven't been approved for Section 8. Like, I'm on a wait list for Section 8, you know? And I've ate canned food a lot. Like, Sarah, I literally have nothing but canned stuff. Like chickpeas. I have like beans. I have bagged walnuts. I have oatmeal. Like, that's all I eat is canned stuff, you know? And sometimes, like I said, that's not bad for you per se, but because of my stress and inflammation and like sugar levels and different things, my body, the last couple of months, I don't know why, but the last couple of months, my body is not reacting well with processed things, with canned things anymore. That's part of the reason why I don't take food anymore from food banks. I used to, but the problem is they want to give you either fruit that's gone really bad, especially around these areas, or they want to give you like highly processed things. And of course, if you're desperate, you eat it, right? But my body, like, there's so much going on with it that it literally rejects that food. That's why I'd rather fast than eat fast food. Like, seriously, there's been days where I haven't ate a whole day because I couldn't afford something to eat. And until the next day that I could get a donation or something, I would get fruit or whatever because my body literally cannot handle any of that processed stuff. And I hate it. I wish my body could endure a little bit more. I wish my body could, eat that stuff and not react, but my body has had so much of it on top of the stress and other things. It can't handle that anymore. So that's another problem and stress on my plate that like my body is craving, cooked healthy meals because I just ate so bad and processed and canned for so long. That's why I'm even on here asking for help because it's like I have enough to get by, but after 2 or 3 days, I don't know what I'm going to do. And I risk every couple of days with potentially sleeping outside. And I've been on live before when I've gotten kicked out of a hotel lobby after being there for hours. People have seen it. People have seen it. Like, I am not bullshitting, And it's just like, who would lie about a situation like this? My situation and others that are going through it, this is the worst possible situation you can go through. Not having shelter, not having family, not having churches that'll help you, being rejected from apartments, being rejected from getting your own car unless you have a big enough down payment, being rejected from jobs and unable to keep the job because of your health and because of your stability, being rejected from unemployment, being rejected from Section 8, being put on wait lists. I mean, literally everything you can think of has happened to me. And I know that it's hard to believe for some people because they're like, how is that possible? You're telling me that nothing has came up? Exactly. And I hate it. I hate it because if it was up to me, I would stay somewhere, be stable, never ask for help ever again. Never be on here. Like, I don't want to do this. But I've just cried so much the last 3 weeks. I've had so many anxiety attacks. I've broken down. Because I'm like, God, why haven't you opened a door for me? It's just been like, I don't understand it. I don't understand it. I really, truly don't. And like, God bless the people that try to boost up my mood and lift me up and speak life over me, but I've just felt numb, guys. I felt numb. I've been depressed. I've been sad. I've been shooting prayers, but I feel like they're not being heard. I've been going through it because I don't understand how God can see that my body is shutting down on me, how it's been reacting, how I'm sensitive to, like, I'm afraid to even eat. Because the things that I have right now, the little bit of food that I have is processed and my body is not reacting well with it. It's depressing. It's depressing. And what can I say? What can I say? A live-in caretaker, I mean, that would be great, but I've never taken care of anybody in my life. And I don't know how that would even happen and what the requirements are. And my body has been going through it so much that I haven't even been able to take care of myself, let alone take care of anybody else, you know? So if I could find something like that, that'd be great. That'd be great. Like I said, most nanny jobs or living caretaker jobs, I haven't even looked into it because I've been so stressed that like every couple days I have that hanging over me that I could be sleeping outside. So I haven't even looked into jobs because I'm so focused on surviving. I'm so focused on making sure I have like somewhere to sleep. And I've been in flight or fight mode for so long. I'm just like barely able to recover. For like those 2 or 3 nights, maybe I'm sleeping, recovering from all the stress and anxiety. And then by the 3rd or 4th night, I wake up and I have to do it all over again and not know how I'm going to make it. So I haven't even looked into like jobs because like I said, I've had to always lose them because of my state of instability and the stress of everything, you know? So I'm willing, like I said, to do like an in-home thing, but nanny stuff, especially here in this city, 9 times out of 10, they want someone with experience or they don't really do a live-in thing. That's more of like word of mouth, or I don't know if Indeed has like live-in things or whatever. I don't know, but I've never taken care of a kid in my life or an adult or anything like that. And like I said, my mental health has been shit. My body has been shit. So to take care of a whole nother person, I would need like a week or two to like reset and like rest and like not have to be in flight or fight and then go for it. Like for me right now, the way my body and mind is feeling and been, to go straight into working the next day, if I were to find some place, would be so overwhelming for me and my body. I'm still not all the way recovered from whatever sickness I had for 3 weeks. Because I went to the emergency room and they told me they had no idea what was wrong with me. That in this city and in this state, and I think throughout a couple states, there's been like this mystery flu or whatever going around with these really crazy chronic symptoms. So, I don't know. I really don't know. I haven't been able to see a doctor besides the emergency room. I haven't been able to see a doctor yet. And I haven't even had the energy to get out of bed to go see a doctor. Someone told me just the day before yesterday about this potential doctor that could see you without insurance. But because I've been so sick and bedridden, I haven't even had the energy to get up to go to the doctor. I've been vomiting. I've been all this stuff. And even if I were to go and they do lab work and they do the whole 9 yards and tell me, Karla, this is what's going on with you. This is the medication you need to take. Stress and instability and homelessness is the number one thing that no matter how healthy you eat, no matter how everything, you cannot heal if you're constantly in flight or fight, you know? So if I can go to the doctor and I'm still going to go, but I know in the back of my mind, in order for me to fully heal from whatever they discover even more in my body that I already know I have, I can't really heal as much as I want to, you know? I don't have any family, Sarah. I have 2 brothers. Bohika, do you know my brother? Are you from Houston? Oh no, I said brother in Christ. My brother in Christ has helped me off and on, but for the most part, the last month and a half. but he's running low on money too. And he's kind of going to the same thing as me, but he has a little bit more advantage. But he's already, he's running thin. He's going through his stuff, and I can't depend on him. And it's been grace, because literally no donations have hardly ever came in from TikTok or from anything. I've probably had 10 people at the very most donate to me besides him within the last 10 months. 10 months. 2-3 months. Yeah. He's been the main one helping me. And he's literally an angel. Literally a destiny helper. If it wasn't for God using him, I would have been on the streets already. Because no other donations have really came in at all. And I know that he's running low, and I know that he's going through it. So that's why I'm like, look, as much as I hate it, I'm going to come on here and ask for help again. And also because of how I've been feeling. It's a miracle. And I don't want to depend on anybody. That's why I've been working independently for so long. But when God called me to social media and he called me to not work for a while, I thought it was going to be only for a couple months to rest, but then it turned into way longer than that. And then this whole year, I haven't been able to make money off TikTok directly. I've even transitioned to like YouTube and stuff recently. But I haven't made money off of there. I'm barely starting. I barely get any views. But I'm trying something else. I'm trying a different avenue, And coffee and crochet, if you don't know my story and you believe that I'm still making excuses after everything that I've said I'm going through and I've tried, then God bless you. Because a lot of people, like I said, are going through so much. It's not fun to deal with chronic illness and have so many things wrong with you, and then also be homeless, and then also try to ask for help in person, in jobs, in hotels, and shelters, and them deny you. So I definitely am not making excuses. I just need a safe place to stay so I can rest for like 1 or 2 weeks and then look into where to work or what to do. I thought that maybe God was going to bless my social media and I was going to start doing whatever, but it hasn't happened that way. I'm blessed with the community, but I'm not getting paid from here. So, yeah. Exactly, Sheev. Hell yeah. Like, if you have literally run out of options and you've done everything in person to not ask for help, but then, like, you can't, like, you just don't have an open door yet, and you have a community online, why wouldn't you ask for help? There's people that donate to, like, random strangers that they don't even know their story at all. And they give them thousands and thousands and thousands of dollars all at once, right? And it changes their life. But for me, I've made so many videos talking about my situation, giving some updates here and there on live and, on my videos. I've shared a lot of my story and the ups and downs and like all the walls that I've hit and all the things. And yet people like question me, which is fine. That's fine. They question me. They doubt me. They say I'm lying. They can't believe I'm still homeless. Like all these different things, And it's just like, and a lot of people, because of that, or because they don't understand or whatever, and I don't understand this either, like they don't want to help. And that's fine, but at the same time, it makes me sad because there's people like that you see from one video that you don't even know their story or anything, and they help them all at once and their whole life changes. But for me, it hasn't been that way. That's what I'm telling you. I did a GoFundMe late last year and I barely got any donations from it. And when I did, it was spread out. It wasn't all at once. It was within a span of like 8 months or so. So all of it went spread out towards my hotel, Yeah. Yeah. I feel for people that have had to sleep outside. Yeah. As a woman, I don't know if I'd be able to do that, to sleep outside. If I had to, of course I would. But if I am still able to get donations and I can get a room, then of course, you know? I'd be shocked if a person sleeps outside and makes, you know, stories about it or talks about it frequently, that they wouldn't get at least one donation so they wouldn't have to sleep outside. But if they chose to sleep outside, then that's on them, right? You know? But I carry around 2 suitcases and a backpack, a bag full of supplements for my health because of my conditions. I don't, and I'm by myself, like I said. I don't know how I would be able to survive sleeping outside. Like, I would literally not sleep. Like, I'd be in a panic, you know? I've gone through a lot of trauma and sexual abuse and different things growing up. That would trigger my PTSD, like, so bad. Like, just being out in the open like that would be really scary. And a lot of shelters that I've tried, it's been really scary and they took advantage of me, but that's a whole different story. So, yeah, it's not easy out here, guys. It's not. It's not. It's not. I'm just now seeing y'all's comments. I don't know why I just came on here to vent and talk, but I haven't been able to see y'all's comments. If anybody is saying anything negative, I'm just gonna block you. I'm venting, but I'm also being vulnerable to ask for help. So, and life's been really shitty. Life's been really hard, despite my efforts. And I know I'm not the only one. I'm not trying to sound like I'm the only one, because I'm not. But when you've been in a situation out of your control for a long time, you're gonna get frustrated. I'm human, you know? So, yeah. I'm just now seeing some of y'all's comments. Who's Jordan Paul? Oh, let's see. Who is Chef Carl? I don't know who any of these people are. If y'all truly have any, like, real resources, really, that could potentially help me, DM me. DM me, because right now, there's so many comments. I'm unable to see everything and process everything. So please, send me a DM if you truly have resources. Bohica, you're naming a lot of people, but I have no idea who any of these people are. Please, Bohica, DM me all of these people. I've got on low income list as well. Yeah. Like I said, I just want to be able to stay somewhere so I can rest and start working or do whatever I need to do. But the stress of, like, never knowing if I have to relocate, never knowing what's going to happen after every 2 or 3 days and I run out of donations, it's stressful. Beverly, I have no family. I escaped my narcissistic family, which is why I'm in this situation. Now, I didn't plan on being it for as long as I have. I had to leave my home 2 years ago because I had really bad mold and I was getting really sick. So yeah. Well, Keeks, yeah, exactly. So it's one thing or another. It's like it's not an ideal situation to live in a hotel, but if I could book it out and pay for it for like, 3-4 weeks, it'll give me a week to rest, and then bam, I'm gonna start looking for jobs, looking to see what I can do and see what happens. Code mobile chick. um I'm asking for help and donations in any way towards hotel stays, for a longer hotel stay so I can rest and work, or I'm asking for help as far as anyone that would let me stay with them that's safe. um I'm asking for help with resources. I'm asking for help with money towards if a car, so maybe I could live in a car. I don't know, just anything, honestly. You know. I'm in the South. I'm in Tennessee right now. Hey, Brooke, how are you? It's like a lot of people are just spamming just to spam. A lot of people are just saying random things. And they're not. That's the bad part about doing lives and TikTok, which is the main reason why I don't like to come on here and ask for help ever at all anymore, because there's random people that just come on here and say whatever and spam my comments. And no matter what I'm telling them that I'm going through, no matter how I'm telling them my body is messing up and shutting down, how I haven't had open doors, how I've reached out, all the things, people are just continuously saying random, hurtful, discouraging things, or they're not actually helping me towards a donation or with a resource. They're not actually helping me. They're just saying random stuff. And it just makes my head hurt because it's just stressful. But I don't know what to do at this point. That's why I'm still on here. Because what else am I going to do? Like I said, I went to the hospital. I just started feeling better like yesterday. Literally just yesterday. Keeks, how do I pay for a hotel when I don't come on here? Literally, like I said, the last month and a half, there was a random brother in Christ, a random guy that he's going through similar things as me in a way. And he basically told me that he's willing to help me as long as he can. But he's going through his own things. And it's not guaranteed 100% that he could always help me. And during those days that he cannot help me as of recently, I don't know what I'm going to do. So I literally just have to deal with it. And then he doesn't send me all this money at once. Like, he can only give me a couple, dollars worth of help for maybe 2 or 3 nights at a time until maybe next time. But I haven't been able to stay somewhere consistently because of issues with the hotel. People overcharging me and doing crazy stuff at hotels towards me. Like, people don't understand, like, when you are spiritually positioned or anointed by God, you will get targeted like crazy. And I thought, okay, that's bullshit, like whatever, And I bumped into a lot of things in hotels. Or the prices rise up a lot and he may not be able to help me. So on those days, I don't know. And he's told me recently, we've had conversations, that things are getting a little bit tighter. He's going through things or whatever. So I know in the back of my mind, he's not going to be able to help me forever. And like I said, he doesn't give me help all at once. It's probably every couple days that he can. And on the days that he can't, those are the days that I pray that God makes a way, or I mentally prepare that I'm going to have to probably sleep outside. And then randomly someone comes in and donates just enough for me to stay one more night at that hotel. And that's how I'm able to survive. Like literally, like miraculously, some way, somehow, I get help to stay in a hotel for the most part up until now, like every night so far. But there's been times where I haven't had it, and I've had to be in lobbies and be kicked out and be outside for a little while and like cry and like wonder, what am I going to do? So it's been it's not like someone says, okay, Karla, I'm going to donate $700 to you right now. I'm going to donate $2,000 for you to pay for a whole month at a hotel, or for you to make a down payment for a vehicle. I don't get stuff like that, It's like little by little. So it's just enough to cover what I need for the day or what I need for the next 2 days, and like food. That's it. And then again, on the third day, I have no idea what's going to happen. So it hasn't been like consistent. And then I haven't been able to stay at the same hotels because I said there's a lot of issues that have happened that I've talked about over and over again, to why I haven't been able to stay in one specific hotel. So yeah, it's been a struggle, and I couldn't tell you why. I don't know. Yeah. It does. Doctors cost a lot, and it costs to be seen and get more answers. It does. Like I said, I'm just praying. I'm like, okay, what can I do? Because my health has gotten worse and worse. Like, it seems like every week or so I have to, I'm not saying exactly, but like it seems that often I move around because prices in hotels fluctuate all the time. And I'm a single woman by myself. There's been a lot of situations where I've been having weird people in the hotel that work in hotels, or people that have lived in the hotels or stayed there that have tried to follow me, stalk me, do weird stuff. So out of my own safety, I've relocated. People don't understand. I used to be a victim of almost being trafficked, and I was in a lot of situations. A lot of people that are in hotels, that even work in hotels, they are into a lot of these trafficking things. You have to be vigilant, especially as a woman, and guard yourself. So I've had to move around for different reasons. And I don't talk about that all the time on here, because I shouldn't have to, but I'm bringing it up now, It's already scary enough. And then on top of that, dealing with the instability, But yeah. So yeah. Yes, my family is still alive. Well, I've been in administration most of my life. I have done, what else have I done? I've done like a transporting position. I've done transporting where companies will give me like a small van or a vehicle to take patients to and from like appointments and stuff like that. I try to apply for that whenever I went back to Houston in February. And if it wasn't for the conditions in my home being so bad and just different things, I would have taken that job because that job was offered to me. My dad was having cameras all over the house, potentially in my room as well. He was stalking me with the vehicle that he let me borrow to be able to go to work or look for jobs. that vehicle had a monitor and like a tracking thing on it. Every single day that I would come back from looking for jobs or doing whatever I needed to do, he would interrogate me, question me, try to like basically try to intimidate me to make it seem like I'm lying, or, oh, why were you in this place for an hour? What took you so long? Why? Like that type of psychological abuse. And it was every day. And he promised that he would be able to give me gas to be able to obviously move around and be able to get to a job, because he lives in the country. There ain't nothing out there. And so when I went to go try to go there and see if that would work for me, if I didn't have a donation or somebody help me with gas, he refused to help me. So I was stuck in the house. And then when I was stuck in the house, he hated seeing me there. But I'm like, how am I going to move around if I don't have any gas? And he refused to help me. He only put gas in the car one time. And I'm like, how do you want me to get a job and move around if you're not giving me gas to help me? And that's the whole reason why I came back, is because you told me you would help me. And then the room that I was in was right next to these 2 new dogs that he got, like outside in the fence. That those dogs and the neighbor's dogs would bark all night. I was sleep deprived for most of the month. And every time I told my dad, can you please put the dogs in? Can you please do something about the noise? He only did that about 2 or 3 times. And he yelled at me and got pissed. And like literally got in my face because he didn't want to be bothered. But how am I supposed to function if I have no gas? I'm sleep deprived. He basically had me pay for all my own groceries. So literally, like, I was literally living off of like food stamps, the few food stamps that I had. And then he would use my stuff. And all the things that he had in his fridge were either like weeks old, or it would be food that they would have left over for them. And sometimes when he would offer food to me, I wouldn't be there. So I'll be like, hey, can you save it? And then by the time I get there, somebody already ate my food. Like, it was constant problems, and it was causing me more stress. And then every single day at 6-7 o'clock in the morning, my dad did not give a fuck. He would blast music to wake everybody up every single day. And then the manipulation started whenever also he didn't want to put on the AC. If it was cold, he refused to put on the heater. Refused. He had his own AC system in his room, so he didn't give a damn about me and my little brother. The house went as low as 50 degrees inside. It was freezing. And when I tried to tell him, Dad, can you put on the heater, please, Dad? Like, I'm getting sick. Like, please, put on some jackets. Okay, Karla, I'll do it in a minute. He never did. I'd ask him again, and he'd go off on me. Like, the mental manipulation, I was like, and I got sick because of that. When it was hot, because Houston is like up and down with its weather. When it was hot, it would go up to 80 degrees in the house. He did not care. Because in his room, it was perfectly fine. But if a random guest came into the house and said, ooh, it's a little chilly in here. Oh, it's a little hot. Instantly, he would get up and move the air. But as soon as they would leave, he'd turn it back off. If I cried and I was in my room and I was all that stuff, he would unlock the door, wouldn't even care if I was getting dressed or if something was happening. He would unlock the door and barge in. And if I was crying, he'd get on my ass. Why the fuck are you crying? Nothing to complain about, blah, 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 blah. And that took a toll on my mental health. It was like this man was determined to make shit miserable for me. Determined. And then mind you, I was taking out the trash, washing all the dishes. I was helping him out. I was not going out. I wasn't talking to, I wasn't doing anything. And whenever everything was all calm and good, he would say, Karla, you got fat. Karla, I don't like your makeup. Karla, and I'd be like, okay, Dad, okay. I would try to ignore him. He'll be like, no, look at me when I'm talking. Listen to me. You look fat. Your makeup is horrible. People don't understand the level of abuse that me and others, because I'm not the only one, have been through. So when I say my dad, my family is not an option, they are not an option. I broke down 3 different times. I had a mental psychosis break because of my dad when I was living there. And he didn't give a fuck. So when I say I've been through hell, I've been through hell. My other family, like I said, they're narcissistic and they go through whatever. They've always targeted me as well. I was the one in the family, just to give you a picture, that was the empathic one, the compassionate one, the sensitive one, the one to always be there for people, the one to do all of these things. And nothing. I was always bullied by my family. I was always told I was going to amount to nothing. They were doing witchcraft on me. So many other things. I was tormented growing up. And even as a young adult. So when God gave me the money to leave, I left with no hesitation. It was hell growing up. And I thought when I went back in February, things would be better. I was greatly mistaken. I was greatly mistaken. But you know what? I don't regret it, because if I wouldn't have gone, I would have never known. I took a chance and it happened the way it did. So now I know that's not an option. I benefited absolutely nothing by being there. If anything, it was worse. It was worse than my situation now. It was worse. You know? And if anybody is, like I said, being negative or whatever, I'm a human being. I'm a young woman that has been through a lot, seen through a lot. I've tried my absolute best to follow God and hear God in whatever He's told me to do, even if it made no sense. And I've struggled with my faith a lot lately, because I'm like, God, I look so crazy to people, but I look crazy to myself. Because why have I done everything that I felt like you've led me to do, and I still haven't been stable? But yet other people have, and they got all these blessings, or they got stability, and I haven't. What's going on? You know? I don't have answers for a lot of things. I don't understand. And like I said, I'm not the only one. There are a lot of people in my position that have messaged me privately, that have told me they're going through the same thing. I'm just now seeing y'all's comments. Hold on. Yahuwah, yeah, exactly. Keeks, it is. Absolutely. TikTok has been dried up for a long time. If y'all have any real resources that I can try out, please message me. Please message me. I am in Tennessee. Like I said, if I had a way to stay somewhere, or had enough money to book for a hotel or something, for like, either I could stay with somebody, or a hotel, or like a car or something. I applied to this one job when I was in Houston in February. I don't know if they're still hiring or not, but I could try to hit up that woman and see if I would be able to work there. Because I applied there and she wanted to hire me, but things got so bad with my dad, it almost got physical, and God made a way for me to leave. Because it was too much torment, it was too much abuse. And like I said, everybody has their own tolerance, but I've been through it even worse my entire life. And I've also had a history of sexual abuse with my own dad. So that's another big reason why that I don't like staying with him. Because I already don't feel safe around him as a woman, but then all the other things he done to me in my life, and then while I was there, it was too much for me. So if I'm able to find a way to stay somewhere safely and consistently there in Houston, I would try to hit up that one woman. That's the only woman I know. But it's been almost a year since I've spoken to her. I don't know if they're still hiring, but I'd be willing to give it a shot. I'd be willing to give it a shot. You know? I've been living day to day. You know, I haven't had enough to like go out there and see if I can make it happen. And, you know, and over there in Houston, unless you know somebody that will get you a job, or unless you are in walking distance of something, you have to have a car. Over there, it's all about having a vehicle. So yeah. And a lot of people just keep spamming, saying random stuff. I've already answered it. I have a full page talking about my situation and trying to get out of it. I've explained it, and people just keep assuming, saying whatever they want. People don't care. But I don't know. I'm coming on here venting, but sharing, and also letting people know they're not alone, but also for the hopes that there might be people that can have legitimate resources or can help financially in any way. And I've been thinking about it. Like I said, I don't know what else I could do. I'm not in Florida. No, ma'am. Yep, I pray all the time. Yeah, I'm from Houston, but I'm in Tennessee. Yeah. JJ, how do I stay positive and not give up? I don't know. I haven't been positive for a while. The only thing that keeps me going is the fact that I have shelter. The fact that even if it's every couple of days I have to stress out and not know where my next donation is going to come from, where my next help is coming from. I know that going home is not an option, and I've tried that. I've tried it. And like I said, my mom is trying to get out of her own situation herself. I've had a really broken, horrible relationship with my mom for a really long time. We just started talking again a few weeks ago. But even then, she's suffering through a lot of health things. She's going through really horrible stuff with her marriage. She's trying to actively get out herself. So imagine me going in there. And also, I've had a very bad history with my stepdad as well, for the sake of stepping in and defending my mother. So it's been a lot. It's been a lot. Like I said, I don't have answers like anyone wants me to give them. I don't have answers for why my life has been this way. I don't. Take that up to God, you know? All I'm doing is sharing and talking about it. And this is my last resort to ask for help through this, like I said. If I had enough, I would honestly, like I said, I've been so sick. I said to myself, Lord, just please help me get healthier or feel good enough. and help me have a way for me to start applying or doing something. I don't know. But I need to feel better. So, I don't know. Hello, hummingbird. I don't have children, no. Yep, exactly. Moonlight, I've seen you a couple times before. But yeah, donations are gifts, exactly. They're not mandatory, absolutely. Absolutely. I agree. But people ask for help because they don't have another option at the moment, you know? In order for me to work or do anything, I've tried the at home stuff. And because I only have enough for every 2 or 3 days at a hotel, and then I have no idea. I have to gather all my things during checkout. I have to be in the lobby and wait there. And many times it's happened to me. It's been noisy. It's been all these different issues that have prevented me from being able to consistently work. When you work an at-home job, you have to be in a pretty quiet environment, or at least, in your room, right? Like in your room so that you can whatever, like that's fine. But if every 2 or 3 days I have no idea what's going to happen, and most times or some days I have to check out and wait in the lobby and have no idea what I'm going to do, or I stay there until I get kicked out, that has happened to me. It's hard to keep any kind of job, even if it's at home. But if I were to know for a fact, okay, I'm going to be in this environment for the next 3 or 4 weeks and I have it paid for, cool. Let me start looking for a job nearby or walking distance, or see if I can work something out with the job that may not be walking distance but is like a $5 Uber, and see if they're willing to help me. Because most jobs, they will only hire you if you're stable, because they see, okay, this person's dependable, right? This person's dependable. But if not, that has an interference. So stability is a very important thing. Like I said, if I had a car, forget about it. I would be working DoorDash. I have an account with DoorDash, Instacart, Uber Eats. I'd work Uber. I would do little gigs. The options are endless if I had a car. Truly if I had a car. But when you don't, you're very limited on what you can do, especially if you're moving around. So it's hard, you know? Kaylee, nowadays I've had to really fast. Usually I try to do maybe, I don't know, like tuna and crackers. I try to do microwavable green beans or beans, those salad bags. And I probably, if it's not too expensive, I get a whole chicken, or I get I don't like to do pre-made chicken salad, so I get a whole chicken, I shred it, I put in there. But I haven't been consistent with it, because sometimes that stuff can add up and be a little expensive. So sometimes I just would get snacks here and there, or I would get I drink a lot of water. This is my 5th or 6th bottle. I drink a lot of water, but my body is starting to not react well to a lot of tuna because of the mercury. It's starting to not react well to a lot of processed carbs. I can do still canned green beans or peas and stuff. I can do frozen stuff too. You know how sometimes you go in the freezer section and you have those microwavable or those frozen peas or green beans. I can do vegetables in that way for now, right now, but just meat, and it gets expensive after a while. You might think, oh, I'm gonna spend only $5-6, but it adds up. So yeah, for sure. I just eat what I can, honestly. Yeah, I eat what I can. I'm in Tennessee. I'm not working still because of the instability, but I'm praying for donations or help or resources or somewhere I can stay so I can start consistently, so I can start working, because I've tried working during this time of my life of being homeless or like living in hotels off and on. I've tried to get a job during this time, and it was really hard to keep it. And I got fired twice because of my instability. So at first, I started off, God called me to not work in the beginning of 2023. But I thought it was because I had a lot of trauma and a lot of things, like mental health wise, that was getting in between my work performance, but also my work itself. They were not paying me correctly. I had a lot of issues with management. It was different things, right? So I thought maybe God was pulling me away for a little while because, I needed like a break, like mental health break or whatever. But then after like a few months, I was like, he was like putting it on my heart, just pursue social media. And I started to get like, random checks in the mail or like people helping me in person out of nowhere. So it helped me. So I thought to myself, okay, now I could probably start looking for a job again. Like, this was a needed rest, whatever. And then when I try to get a job or do whatever, it just became difficulty after difficulty. And then I started to become really sick because the place I was staying at had a lot of mold. So it was just a lot of issues that kept coming. And then I started having issues with the woman that was in charge of paying for my rent. And she was basically trying to threaten me. It was a whole thing of like, oh, I don't know if I can pay this month for your place, or I don't know and that was technically her job. She was legally obligated through the program that I was under, and I met all of the requirements for it. She was obligated to pay my rent every single month, right? Because that's part of the program acceptance, right? In 2023, that was the moldy home. But I don't know why this woman would always try to like be late on purpose. And I kept getting warnings and warnings from my leasing person and said, if you're late another time, I know you're not in charge of paying your rent, but if you're late another time, we're going to start putting the penalty on you to come up with the rent, or you're going to be kicked out. So she kept doing things to sabotage my stability of living there. And either way it goes, I didn't have a way to transport anymore. I didn't have a vehicle anymore. And for two, I was getting chronically sick because of the mold. So it was just so many things happening all at once. And I had a temporary at-home job or whatever for a little while, maybe like 2 months or so during that month. But then my Wi-Fi started acting up, just different things. And I was trying to find different organizations that could probably help me with my Wi-Fi. But then I started to have issues at that job, and also with the woman again that was always threatening me with my rent. So I tried to do things, I tried to do things, and ultimately by the end of my lease, I became so sick that I had no option but to leave. Like, I was going through it so bad. I went to the hospital twice. By the end of that year, it was a lot, you guys. Like, I've been through a lot, and I don't know why it's been like this, but it's been a fight for my life to be stable. And at the same time, trying my hardest to trust God and follow God, even though I obviously have requirements, and things that I have to take care of. So it's been hard. It's been really hard to trust and have faith while you're going through what you're going through, Yeah. And again, if y'all are not spiritual, or y'all have not felt led, or have never had that feeling that God was telling you to do something that didn't make sense to you, then of course you're going to think I'm crazy, and that's perfectly fine. But that's what I perceived at that time, And Bree, I've been asking for help while I've actively tried to figure out a situation out of it. It's not like I'm sitting here thinking, oh, I just want to ask people for help, and I just want to take people's money, and I'm doing absolutely nothing to help myself. That is not the case at all. And God bless you if you think that about me, but that is not the case at all. I've known people that have been in this situation actively trying and constant doors shut on them for just as long as me, if not longer. I've been in hotels exclusively since the end of last year, but before that I was trying to stay in shelters, stay with random people, beg people on Facebook, because I didn't want to ask people for help online. And it came to the point where there was no more open doors for that. So it didn't offend people back then, but now that they see that I'm still in the situation and doors haven't opened, people assume the worst about me. And they assume that I haven't tried. They assume that I'm not doing anything. They assume that I'm lying. And it's sad. Because there are people that do lie. There are people that make no effort. There are people that do all those things, but that is not my case. And at the same time, trying to listen to my intuition when it's telling me something. I am led by my spirit first and foremost. But now that things have gotten even harder, I'm like, okay, I need to continue to prioritize and work even harder to look for more resources, because I don't know why things are not opening up for me. I am willing to. They just haven't opened up for me, you know? Hummingbird, I don't know. My dad is he's gone through a lot of trauma in his life, I guess. I don't know. This man has gone through a lot. And when I was a teenager, I was lying sometimes when I was a teenager because I was trying to get away from the abuse by going out with my friends, doing things, and I would lie sometimes when I was a teenager, but that's been over 10 years ago. And my dad still has trust issues with that. Even though I've shown him I don't drink, I don't smoke, I don't do things with men, I don't do any of that, you know? I don't do any of that. And yet he still treated me like that. And when I would try to talk to him about it, he didn't care. He was like, you either deal with this or you get out. And it would take a toll on anybody, you know? I don't know if it's against the laws to have cameras in the house or whatever, but he didn't care. He didn't care. Island Queen, yep, and you best believe I'm going to write a book. I don't know if you were being sarcastic or not, but yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. I have all the intention in the world when I can to be able to really write books. My life is a complete movie. Anybody that has known me personally knows I go through shit all the time. Like, my life is literally a movie. So I don't know if you meant well or not with that comment, but I absolutely will write books, because that's part of the reason why people assume whatever they want about me, because they're like, how is it possible that this girl has gone through this much? Exactly. I don't know why. And people always tell me, oh, well, maybe it's because God has a big purpose for you, you know? Maybe you're going to testify. Look, probably, but at this point, I don't know. Yeah. So imagine, and I'm so passionate because imagine y'all are hearing this and thinking, what the fuck, right? Imagine me experiencing it. How you're like, what the fuck, like every day. Like, oh my God, when is shit gonna get better? You know? Imagine how I feel. You know? And I see people that have the worst attitudes, are the worst people, and are actually lying to people. And I know it. And they're doing all these things, yet they get all the help in the world. Yet they get all the opportunity in the world. Yet they, out of nowhere, get stability. Out of nowhere, get an opportunity. And bam, their problems are solved. But I've been knocking on so many doors, asking so many people for different ways, and have yet to get help. Or have a legitimate opportunity. A lot of people hit me up, and they're just lying. They're bullshitting. They say they have an opportunity for me, but when I talk to them and I try to investigate and like look into it and like actually like go for it, it ends up being a scam, or they end up pulling back. So people aren't helpful like that when it comes to resources. That's why for me, I'm like, okay, the only thing I know how to do is to logically ask for help. That's all I know. Like at this point, I don't have any other option, you know? And the sun emoji, I'm not ignoring. There's just so many comments and like I'm explaining myself, so by the time I'm done, you know? Yeah, and I'm blocking a lot of people because a lot of people have came into this live to just be discouraging and just be negative for no reason. But I'm only acknowledging the sincere, genuine comments, because if you're just going to speak against me or be rude or be whatever when I've given you my explanation a million times and I'm trying to be positive and I'm just, going through something and talking about it, and you're being negative or weird or spamming, I'm just gonna block you. I'm just gonna block you. Exactly. I would love help to move on with my issues. Of course. I would love to go to therapy. I would love to do all these things. I mean, yeah, but like I said, when you're barely surviving every day, it's hard. You can't. It takes money to go to those appointments. It takes money and opportunity to pay for those things. So I can't really get the help that I want or need. I'm just coming on here talking and stuff, but people are just being really negative and weird. And this is why, like, I really don't do TikTok anymore, because out of nowhere, I talk about different things on my lives. I just haven't been consistent because I haven't been feeling good and I've been going through a lot and I've been stressing out. And trying to think of more ways to probably get myself out or whatever. I don't know. And, people just randomly come on here to spam or be negative or say random things. It's a headache, which is why I don't acknowledge all comments. Yeah. Of course. Like when I went back to live with my dad, my mission and goal there was to live there and be able to get a job and be completely occupied with that job. But things started to get worse and worse and worse with him. Worse and worse and worse. And he wasn't giving me any more gas to put in the vehicle to be able to work the job. So I needed help from him in some kind of way until I got my first paycheck or two. But he was not letting up. He was not helping me. All he was doing was stressing me out and bullying me. That's all he was doing. He wasn't actually helping me. I had to beg him more than twice to like help me, because one of the promises he told me before I went over there, he's like, yeah, and if you ever need any kind of help, because I literally live in sweatpants. I have one hoodie, one thing, and like maybe like 4 or 5 shirts and like 2 sweatpants, right? I don't have clothes for an interview. Well, I didn't until then. He promised me that he would help me, and getting interview clothes or whatever it is. And just for the sake, even if it's cheap, like from Dollar General, Marshalls, doesn't matter, but like some kind of like clothes to like do an interview. And when I got there, he refused to help me. I had to beg him several times to help me just so I can show up to the interviews. He was making my life way more difficult than what it had to be. If it was any other person, literally, I would have no problems. I'd be at my dad's right now. Nobody's parents are perfect. Nobody's family is perfect. Trust me, I can deal with a lot. But when they're literally trying to like make your life hell and it's not working, oh yeah, like that shit will mess up your mental health and affect your job. That's what happened to me, you know? So I'm just like, I can't. It's just so. And then he had the audacity to tell after it almost got physical with me and him. I felt in danger because he used to do stuff like that to me when I was younger. And like I said, I dealt with a lot of sexual abuse and trauma from him anyways. So I'd never felt safe to be with him, period. You know, and then he had the audacity to tell his workers, because he has his own company, to tell his workers and everybody a whole completely different narrative of what happened between me and him and why I left. And I only know that because somebody that worked for him had my phone number, and I was calling her back to like update her because she was always worried about me, because she saw a lot of the mistreatment and abuse when I was there. So she was the only person to believe me. And when I checked back with her, she started randomly like just switching up on me, talking to me different, being more cold, being weird with me. And then she ended up telling me that my dad told her and his workers all my business and a completely different version of the story. So he has made me look bad with everybody, even though I haven't done anything to him, and people were witnessing his mistreatment towards me. So I don't know. Like I said, my dad is not even an option. And then come to find out, like, he's going through like health concerns and like really bad stuff. I don't know what he got going on. I heard this through the grapevine, you know? So I don't know. I tried. Trust me. You know? For sure. Moonlight, I've talked about this a couple times, sweetheart. I've gone to a lot of churches. I've asked for help. I've done all of that. It's sad to me how many churches don't help. It's sad to me. I surely thought a church was going to help. Nope. And you would think because I'm a single woman, you know, I have no pets, no kids, they would at least give me like a room or like help me towards something, a resource. No. Michael, no, I don't have a car. I'm 27. All my cousins are in Mexico. All my family's in Mexico, and I haven't talked to them or spoken to them or known about them since I was like 14, 15. And I don't have my passport, so I can't go over there with them. And like I said, it's not just let me just find somewhere to stay. I mean, that's part of it. But I'm not going to go to a random, and first, like I said, I have to get my passport and everything, but like, and that's money, that alone. But, yeah. The only 2 cousins that I know of that are in Houston, like on either side of the family, they don't talk to my family for a reason, because they've done my family dirty, and then they've done me dirty or like treated me weird growing up. So they're not people I trust to stay with, and they wouldn't open their doors to me anyways. Boss man, I can't disclose where I am in Tennessee. Deanne, the military, that's not for me. Like I said, just because you're looking for a way doesn't mean you're going to just join everything. It has to make sense in some ways. But no, no, the military is not for me. Hummingbird, and any resources, because there's like different comments, please message me with, I don't have anything to write down right now, like please message me with the resources, please. The sun, okay. Yeah, I mean, like I said, I was led to come to Tennessee. I felt in my spirit and my intuition strongly to come here. But as I've been here, there's been no resources. So I'm sitting around like, God, what do I do? Because no churches are helping here. No shelters have been able to get me in. Like, nothing is working out here. So, like, now I'm trying to figure out if I'm going to go to a different state or a different city, I have to know that things are going to work out, or at least have like a lead, you know? Otherwise, I'm going to be over there suffering the same way I am here, you know? So I need to have a reason why to go to a whole different state. Otherwise, I'm going to be going through the same thing, you know? Ashley Nicole, my Cash App is in my bio. Venmo, PayPal, any of that. If any of y'all can help, I'd really appreciate it. I don't have notifications to any of that, so I haven't seen if anybody else has like sent anything at all. I don't know, but like I said, I haven't had any help enough to like help me book, like I said, for even like a week or two fully. I've had just enough for a couple days, and then I'm back to square one. So I don't know. Like, unless I knew exactly where to go and I knew I was going to get help and I knew it was going to be great, like some sort of help more than here, I would go. Because I'm telling y'all, I'm tired of it. I'm tired on waiting on God, because I'm like, God, I feel like maybe I heard wrong, or maybe I'm crazy, because why did I feel like you told me strongly to come here to this state and city, and nobody has helped, and there's been no resources, and it's been hard as hell to survive here, you know? I don't want to be here anymore. And then plus the weather is so bad, it's made me even sicker. I'm like, I don't want to be here anymore. But unless I know for a fact where to go, I'd be in the same predicament. You know? And yeah, Michael is offering, but Michael, please message me, because I hesitate with getting help from men as far as living with them. Living with the man, I've had horrible experiences, and I've been raped before multiple times in my life, so I'm hesitant to live with a random man. But I'm willing to talk to Michael. I'm willing to talk to you, see where it goes, what's gonna happen, you know, follow my intuition. People, it's not just easy like that, you know? You still, even though you're looking for a resource, you still have to be discerning, you know? You still have to be discerning. And Hope, I don't know what you mean. I don't know what y'all mean about hoping that God changes me, because I don't know what y'all are talking about with that. Like I said, that's why TikTok has not been a safe place for me, because when I talk about my circumstance and I'm venting because I'm tired, people love to assume I'm making excuses or whatever, when I've explained 1,000 times my situation and people don't understand. And because I haven't had an opportunity open up to me, no matter how hard I've tried, people love to come on here and blame me for it, when it's not my fault, you know? Barbie, I feel for you, yeah. Everyone's going through it. Yeah, like I said, I'm not the only one on here. I'm just the only one being vulnerable and really talking about it. But it's really shocking how no matter how deep I go, no matter how much I talk about it, people still aren't either believing me or criticizing me, but they're criticizing and not helping. So it's like, if you can't contribute to a donation, that's fine. God bless you. But send me resources that you know that I could try out. You know what I'm saying? But people come on here and critique and assume, and they're not even actually helping. They're just trying to bring me down, you know? So it blows my mind, you know? It blows my mind. Michael, yeah, please message me. Thank you. Yeah, Teresa, exactly. Exactly. And for some reason, like, when people are behind a camera, they just say whatever to people like I'm not a real person. Even if like 20 men tell me, you can live with me, you can live with me, it's still a man at the end of the day. And like I said, I've been abused and gone through stuff in my life. I can't just be trusting people like that if it's a man. And even with the woman, I'm still hesitant, and I've had some bad experiences with women. But with women, you know, you might be a little bit more open, you know, but you still have to like listen to your intuition, you know? You can't just trust anybody, because then I'd be in a worse position than I am right now, you know? Yeah, Teresa. It just shocks me that people on the internet, as soon as you ask for help, they're like coming at you, accusing you, thinking you're crazy, thinking you're lying. And God forbid you come on here multiple times asking for help, because since the last time that I went on here and I was looking and researching and still haven't found any stability for me to stay somewhere consistently so I could work or do whatever I need to do. Like, it just blows my mind that people just put all these expectations and they go off because they expect that you should be in a better position. But they don't know that almost no donations come in. They don't know that I struggle to even pay for a hotel every night. And when I can, they don't know that I struggle with having to think that I might have to sleep outside every 2 or 3 days because that's all I have enough for. Like, people don't think about that, you know? And they put all these expectations on me like it's all my fault that I'm not in a better position. Like, well, if you have better resources, help me. If you have better resources, if you can't help with money, help me with resources. Because I've tried all of them that I know of that I've been recommended. So if you have new ones, tell me. I'm open to it. It's not like I'm telling you, oh no, I don't want any resources, any help at all. I just want money. No, not at all. Not at all. But until I can get that help, of course I need money to survive. And so if that's the only reason why I'm asking, so I can have a roof over my head every day. Until I can find a consistent enough to pay for a week or two ahead up front, so then I could start looking for a job, you know? I haven't used Snapchat in a long time. I have one, but I haven't used it in a long time. Jean, thank you. Thank you, Jean. You're one of the first people in my chat that actually has a heart and is actually understanding what I'm saying. It's extremely hard to deal with narcissistic abuse, childhood trauma, while also being homeless and living in survival mode, and then also having to deal with people online like criticizing the shit out of me, you know? It is extremely hard to do that. And people have no heart and no compassion. And it's like, if you are that criticizing so much, then help me. Help me so I don't have to be on here if it bothers you so much. Or block me, you know? Like, people just feel like the more open and honest and vulnerable you are, the more questions you answer, the more people attack you. So it's like, that's why I don't share all the things that's going on with me on the inside. For what? If people are going to just use that against you and say things about you. You know what I mean? It's like, you don't win with the internet, but I don't have another option of like who I could ask help from. This person at the hospital, this nurse, exactly, this nurse, she told me about this church to go to, and I've been to damn near all the churches here in this area, and she said to me, go to this church, they might really be able to help you, blah, blah, blah. I don't like churches. I've been there, I've been mistreated, and the church that she recommended, I asked them for help over a year ago, and they chose not to help me. But you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to put all that bullshit aside, and on Sunday, I'm going to go again and see if they can help me. Now, if they don't help me, that's out of my control, right? Out of my control. And if I come on here and I start telling people what happened, oh, you didn't ask hard enough. You didn't tell people hard enough. You know, people always have something to say. It's like, why can't people just accept that some people don't have it good or aren't in your position? So help. You know what I mean? If someone is obviously asking for help and you can help them in any way, why not help them? And if you can't, say a prayer for them and keep it moving, you know? But people like are so miserable on the inside that they have to go into a random girl's live and comment hateful, weird, random things. And they have no idea what's going through my mind right now. They have no idea what I'm going through in my body. You know what I mean? Just because I'm speaking right now and I'm able to speak right now, people didn't see for 3 weeks how I was crying and chronic and pain in my whole body and couldn't move and didn't eat for 3 days straight because I couldn't stomach anything and I was sick. I couldn't even get myself to the hospital. And I was about to call an ambulance. And the moment I felt a little bit better, I got an Uber and I went to the hospital and went myself. So I wouldn't have that debt with the ambulance. And I threw up in my Uber. I threw up when I got out and when I was in it. And I was on the phone with somebody who saw the whole thing. Like, it's so alarming to me how people really don't care and lack compassion, and people don't understand how hard it is for a lot of people. I don't get it. I don't get it. But you know what? This live taught me and showed me why I have to take my breaks of not being on live and not being on TikTok anymore, because people are getting so out of hand, so outrageous, so crazy with me on here, and have all these opinions and being so ugly towards me, but they're not helping. And instead of just ignoring me and like whatever, like okay, whatever, I can't help her, I don't know her situation, but God bless her, they're bullying me online. And I don't care about it. You can say whatever you want about me. I know the truth. And I know I'm not lying. And I know I sleep well with a clear conscience every night because I'm being truthful about everything. But this is why I'm not on here as much anymore. Because people are so ugly and so weird and so rude. But I just had a horrible day. And I wanted to vent. And I wanted to see if anyone could help. But I was met with more and more and more and more negativity and evilness. So even if I have to sleep outside or if something extreme happens, maybe I'll be back on here. But I'm just not going to be on here anymore. And I'm just going to have to like deal with my shit unless, like I said, something really does happen or I truly, honestly feel like God is leading me to come on here. Because it's just too much. Like, TikTok has really affected my mental health the last couple of months because people are so ugly. And there's like such a loss of compassion and understanding and empathy, you know? It just blows my mind. And what's crazy is that a lot of it is coming from Christians or people that say that they're nice people. It's scary to me. It's scary to me. So I've had enough. My body is giving out on me right now again. I'm just gonna get off of here for my mental health and just rest because I've done nothing but over-explain myself. I thought maybe this is gonna be a moment where I could vent and talk to my people and just get encouragement, but people have been so ugly and weird towards me. I just can't do this. Thank you, Jean. People have been so ugly and weird towards me. I just can't do this. Thank you, Jean. Towards me.